What's up, y'all? So it looks like we have yet another Diddy day. The Rolling Stone, they came out with an expose. Apparently, they did like a 6-month investigation speaking to a variety of people from his past, and about 50 people, I think, spoke to them. Also, we have an exclusive, or CNN has an exclusive that the federal government, the feds, prosecution, they may be putting together a grand jury and looking for witnesses to speak to this grand jury. So with that, as I said in my previous video, and how many experts are saying this, but it looks like an indictment is quite imminent for Diddy, but we shall see what happens. But back to this Rolling Stone expose, like I said, they spoke to about 50 people just throughout the years who have experienced some type of harm from Diddy. I have to be careful with my words on YouTube, but experienced some type of harm from Diddy. And it dates all the way back to even his college days. Diddy attended Howard University. He didn't finish. Believe he was there up to his sophomore year because he wanted to leave and become who he became, the mogul he became. He left to intern at Uptown Records. But he was there, they said, up to his sophomore year. He was kind of the party guy. He put on parties, etc. He was flashy even then. But some of his former classmates, they recalled a moment where he may have harmed one of his girlfriends. They said he became belligerent one night outside of a dorm room, called her out, and began to harm her, like literally whooping her, they said, with his belt. And there were many witnesses to this, and a few of them actually spoke to Rolling Stone about what they witnessed even then. Now, the alleged victim, she did not speak to Rolling Stone. But then you fast forward through his career in the music business, the start of his career, apparently there were a variety of women who also faced some harm from Diddy. And some even have said that they were R-worded by him. In fact, when you read the article, a lot of it we already knew because, there's been a lot of different lawsuits filed against Diddy. So quite a few of them spoke with Rolling Stone, but then you had a lot of the executives come out and pretty much share some of their experiences with him. And in particular, they said that, Diddy really could be the life of the party. He could be kind of like a Gatsby or a P.T. Barnum, just really showcase. You could really have a good time with him. And yes, he could be very motivating. In fact, that's the side we see as fans. He was very motivating. I would look at his clips and feel inspired. But they said there was this dark side to him that many in the public did not see. And that is what is being exposed now. And that is what Cassie, she was the first to truly expose this. But it's really kind of been in our face for many years. In fact, they spoke about, I remember when this happened too, they spoke about the incident with Steve Stout. Steve Stout was the president of urban music at Interscope, and he was Nas's manager. Diddy did a video with Nas, Hate Me Now, and he didn't like a particular scene that was released. So he went to Steve Stout's offices at Interscope and allegedly beat him down, even hit him with a champagne bottle. And this was, I believe it's on record. Steve Stout spoke about it. And I remember when this happened, and it happened right before, I believe, the club incident with Shine and Jennifer Lopez. So this was kind of a odd time for Diddy. And so there was that, but he settled that. And I believe, even now he and Steve Stout, I guess, are allegedly good. But it still shows that Diddy is a violent person and doesn't know how to handle conflict, because obviously you don't handle a professional conflict in that way. In fact, I interned at Interscope, and I remember working in those offices, and every time I would walk in there, I would think about how, wow, Diddy actually showed up in here and beat up Steve Stout. But that's not how you resolve your professional conflicts. But this is what he allegedly has done. It's a way for him to show his power. And as they say, absolute power corrupts. And that seemed to be his issue. And again, just with all the different women, all the different just horrible experiences they experience. In fact, one of the patterns when it comes to the women he would date was that it would be hard for them to let go or to leave. In fact, we saw that a lot in the Cassie lawsuit, how she said it was just very difficult to leave Diddy. And one of his former executives said, this may stem from, if we want to talk about Diddy in terms of just his human side and maybe what causes this type of behavior, it could be because, his father passed away when Diddy was a young child. I believe he was just 3 years old when his father passed away. So maybe that has created some type of trauma in him. I'm no psychologist, but maybe that is playing a role in why he just really can never be left or, in his mind, abandoned. But I'll say this, there are plenty of people who have maybe lost their parents in a tragic way or at a young age, and they did not grow up to harm others or to use that as a license to harm others. Everyone is dealt something bad in their lives, but it's up to you to do the right thing. And Diddy is smart enough, talented enough. He knows right from wrong. But in my mind, he's choosing to do this because even with the Steve Stout situation that happened back in 99, he could say, well, I was younger then. I didn't know any better. But you also showcase the same type of violent behavior in 2016 in that hotel video we saw. But back to the women. The women have said that, yes, it's very difficult to leave a Diddy situation, a relationship. Again, we saw that with Cassie, even when she wanted to have maybe a little casual relationship with Kid Cudi. Allegedly, he blew up Kid Cudi's car. Kid Cudi confirms that. Kim Porter, even before Cassie, again, we're seeing patterns here. She allegedly, when she and Diddy were on a break, because Diddy was dating all around, allegedly, she started dating Shakir Stewart, who was an executive in the industry. Diddy found out, saw Shakir at L.A. Reid's wedding in Italy, somehow went into Shakir's hotel room and hit him with a chair and left him bloodied. And his family spoke to Rolling Stone and said, they obviously heard about this incident and encouraged Shakir to leave that industry because it was too dangerous. So that was how Diddy responded to another man dating one of his exes at the time. So it was very hard for a woman to just leave. He wouldn't allow it. And now to Shakir, just a side note, he unfortunately unalived himself back in I believe 2008. By that time, he already had another fiance or, another significant other. So I know some people speculate, did Diddy have something to do with that? But it's likely not. His friends are saying that, at that time he was acting strangely. So who knows? But he did have a run-in with Diddy at least 8 years prior to him passing away. And here's the thing. Diddy did not have to be monogamous. He could be a womanizer. There's plenty, hate to say it, but there's probably plenty of womanizers in the entertainment industry. It tends to be the culture. The issue is not that. The issue is how you were treating these women, literally kicking them allegedly while they're down. Well, actually, not even allegedly. We saw you do it on the hotel video. Literally kicking women while they're down, violating them allegedly. That is the issue. We wouldn't be here, though, if it was just about you being a womanizer. In fact, you could even be a freak, like Adina Howard used to say. You can be a freak until the dawn. That's not the issue. The issue is, were you forcing people to do these freak things with you, forcing them against their will? That's the issue. Were you supplying them with illegal substances against their will? That's the question. The transporting of minors across state lines. That is a question. And again, Diddy has denied all of these allegations. But those are the issues. And even when it comes to his artists, a few artists spoke, some didn't. But those who did, they said that they felt like they were unseen or mistreated or wasted their time because some of their music wasn't even released. One artist said that she was blackballed. And I'll be honest, in the entertainment industry, this is a typical story. There's always a conflict, or often a conflict, between executives and artists. And some artists do end up becoming upset if their careers didn't go as far as they wanted it to go. And there is sometimes a question as to whether that truly is the executive's fault or just the way things are. It's a risky business. And I'll say that I think that if Diddy just was kind of in that typical executive mode in terms of artists maybe signing bad deals, I think we would still be here honoring Diddy, because he's not alone in that. But the issue is in terms of creating possibly dangerous environments for these artists. I know with Bad Bunny from making the band, she said that she was blackballed after leaving Bad Boy. That's of course bad, because that takes away from her livelihood. But then you have Shine, who was at the club during that Pow Pow incident, and he claims that he took the fall for the most part for Diddy, or was kind of put in position to take the fall, and spent 10 years in prison. That's, of course, horrible. And then you have a former bodyguard, Gene Deal, claiming that it was Diddy who, in essence, created the environment for Biggie to lose his life like he did in Los Angeles, because Diddy was told, do not go to that party because it's just too hot right now in LA. But Diddy did not listen. And then, of course, you have the Tupac. That still remains a mystery. But Keefe D claims that Diddy may have actually paid a guy named Zip to take care of Tupac and Suge. And we all know what happened there. And what's weird is that Diddy at one point admired Tupac, in fact, even studied his career, studied his music, like really spent a summer studying the song I Get Around, which was a hot song back in 1993. And he was really trying to mimic that style for his company. And he wanted to befriend Tupac, but Tupac wasn't really feeling him, but was cool with Biggie. And according to the article, Diddy was kind of jealous of that relationship, but we know that all eventually fell apart. And again, that could just be relationships, etc. But it still was this toxic environment. And that is really what I guess you could say is the theme of this article, is that Diddy was just a toxic person. And all of these people are exposing him for that. And I'll leave with this. There's a saying that the higher you climb, the harder you fall. But if you treat people well on your way up to success, people will, when you do stumble, because it's inevitable that everyone stumbles, they will make sure you don't completely fall. But it looks like Diddy did not take care of too many people. And that's why, as he's falling, people are watching him fall. And that should be a lesson for us all. Treat people well on your way to the top. But that's my show for today. Be sure to share your thoughts below. I'm Stacey Brewer, and this is H Blue's Word. Peace.